What if the first sign that World War III had truly begun was not a missile launch on live television, but a bomber no radar ever saw coming? A single aircraft already inside hostile airspace, already lined up on its targets before any air defense commander even realized the war had started. That aircraft is what the B-21 is designed to be. The B-21 is the United States' newest long-range stealth bomber, built to replace and eventually surpass the B-2 and B-1 fleets. It is a dual-capable platform, meaning it can carry both nuclear and conventional weapons, and is explicitly intended to operate deep inside heavily defended airspace. At its core, the B-21 is a flying weapons delivery system that combines very low observable stealth shaping and materials, intercontinental range with aerial refueling, and a modular open architecture design for rapid upgrades over decades of service. Unlike legacy bombers that must fire standoff weapons from outside dense air defenses, the B-21 is designed to go in, survive, and deliver precision strikes against critical targets that adversaries assume are protected. In a World War III environment where Russia and China would attempt to shield their most valuable assets under layers of advanced air defenses, the B-21 exists to make those defenses uncertain. The B-21 is not just a more modern bomber, it is built from the start around penetrating future air defenses that do not fully exist yet. Its airframe continues the flying wing concept seen on the B-2, but with cleaner lines, smaller size, and more aggressive stealth optimization to reduce detection across multiple radar bands. Several features stand out. The B-21 is expected to have a significantly smaller radar cross-section than the B-2, including against low-frequency radars that adversaries developed specifically to counter earlier stealth designs. It is designed to operate as a node in a larger network, fusing off-board and on-board data so the bomber can navigate, find targets, and adapt routes even in contested environments with jamming and deception. Its mission systems are built with an open architecture, allowing rapid integration of new sensors, weapons, and electronic warfare tools as threats evolve. In practice, this means the B-21 is not a fixed capability frozen at rollout. It is a platform that can be continuously adapted to new Russian and Chinese radar types, new surface-to-air missiles, and new electronic warfare tactics over its lifetime. For World War III planning, that flexibility matters. Adversary air defenses that are being upgraded specifically to stop U.S. aircraft are facing a bomber that is intentionally designed to be a moving target. The B-21 is a long-range intercontinental bomber able to strike targets across the globe when supported by aerial refueling. Exact combat radius and payload details are classified, but U.S. sources emphasize that it will be able to hold any target anywhere in the world at risk, either from U.S. territory or forward bases. What is publicly known includes the aircraft being optimized for long-duration missions with the ability to be refueled in flight, making its effective reach global. It is intended to operate from multiple bases, including in the continental United States and potentially from overseas locations, complicating adversary targeting. It is expected to carry a mix of guided bombs and standoff weapons, allowing strikes from inside or outside the densest air defense zones as required. In a World War III scenario, this reach means Russian strategic targets, from command centers to missile fields, remain vulnerable even if U.S. forward bases are under attack. Chinese military infrastructure, including inland command nodes, bomber bases, and missile brigades, cannot assume safety from distance alone. The strategic effect is psychological as well as operational. Distance no longer guarantees that a high-value target can survive the opening phases of a large-scale conflict. While specific loadouts remain classified, the B-21 is confirmed to be nuclear capable and designed to deliver a mix of nuclear gravity bombs and likely future nuclear standoff weapons. It will also carry an array of conventional precision-guided munitions against hardened, mobile, or time-sensitive targets. Expected categories of weapons include gravity nuclear bombs, such as the B-61 family, providing low observable delivery against high-value targets under dense defenses. Conventional precision bombs for strategic airfields, command bunkers, and logistics hubs. Future long-range standoff missiles integrated over time through the open architecture systems. In a World War III context, this loadout matters for escalation dynamics. The same aircraft can conduct deep conventional strikes early in a conflict, degrading air defenses and command and control. The same airframe, later in the conflict, could be tasked with nuclear missions, striking targets that remain after other delivery systems have been employed. Because the B-21 is designed for both roles, adversaries cannot easily know whether an incoming raider is carrying conventional or nuclear weapons. That ambiguity increases pressure on decision-makers under extreme time constraints. If a large-scale conflict with Russia or China ever broke out, the B-21 would likely be tasked with penetrating defended airspace to strike critical early targets, integrated air defense nodes, long-range radar, and command centers that coordinate missile and air campaigns, supporting cyber and electronic attacks by physically destroying key communication hubs and hardened facilities, providing a survivable nuclear strike option that can approach from multiple directions and altitudes, complicating adversary planning. Compared to intercontinental ballistic missiles and submarine-launched ballistic missiles, a bomber like the B-21 has different characteristics. It is slower, giving leaders more time to confirm, communicate, or recall, which can be stabilizing. It is more flexible and retargetable, allowing changes in mission mid-flight if the situation evolves. At the same time, its survivability against modern air defenses raises the probability that it can reach targets that might be difficult to hit with other systems in a heavily contested environment. In a scenario where satellites and communications are degraded, a stealth bomber that can operate semi-independently becomes more valuable. The B-21 does not guarantee victory for any side, and it does not make nuclear war inevitable. What it does is change the calculus of risk and survivability in early and mid-stage World War III scenarios. It makes the conflict more dangerous in several ways. High-value targets in Russia and China that were previously considered too deep or too well defended to be realistically struck early in a conflict may no longer be safe. That can increase pressure to act preemptively or disperse forces early in a crisis. Adversary air defense networks cannot be sure they will detect or intercept the bomber, even after investing heavily in layered systems designed to counter stealth. That uncertainty complicates planning and can drive more aggressive posture or alert levels. Because the B-21 is nuclear and conventional capable, an adversary seeing a raid of stealth bombers might assume the worst, even if the actual loadout is conventional. In a high-stress environment, that ambiguity can accelerate escalation decisions. For Russian and Chinese planners, this forces a difficult trade. Either accept that critical infrastructure and leadership nodes are vulnerable to a penetrating bomber they may not detect in time, or shift to more dispersed, mobile, and hardened systems with command structures on higher alert, which can reduce decision time and increase the risk of miscalculation. The B-21's very existence pushes adversaries toward more complex and potentially unstable posture in any prolonged confrontation. In a World War III scenario, the electromagnetic spectrum would be saturated with jamming, decoys, and competing sensors. The B-21 is designed to survive in exactly that kind of environment, not just by being hard to see, but by managing and exploiting the chaos. Key aspects include low observability, reducing the effective detection range of radars, shrinking the reaction time available to defenders. Advanced onboard processing and network connectivity allow the bomber to adapt routes and tactics dynamically as the threat picture changes. Its stealth enables it to approach from unexpected vectors and altitudes, forcing defenders to cover more airspace with limited resources. In a global conflict involving thousands of missiles, aircraft, and drones, the B-21 is one of the few platforms designed to remain hidden long enough to deliver strikes against the most protected targets. That makes it disproportionately important compared with its numbers in the fleet. Russia and China are already investing heavily in long-range radars, integrated air defense systems, and counter-stealth technologies to reduce the advantage of U.S. stealth aircraft. Even so, U.S. planners expect the B-21 to regain and extend the penetration edge that may have eroded since the B-2's introduction. For adversaries, this means strategic facilities deeper inland must be considered at risk even in the early days of a conflict. Air defense planning must account for threats that may not be visible until they are close to their targets. Additional resources must be dedicated to defending key nodes against a small number of very hard-to-detect aircraft. This has follow-on effects. More assets tied to homeland defense may reduce resources available for offensive operations elsewhere. Higher peacetime readiness levels for air defenses may become standard, raising tensions and the risk of misinterpretation during crises. The B-21 does not operate alone, but its presence forces Russia and China to assume that a stealth penetration capability will exist throughout any major conflict with the United States. The B-21RAIDER is not a guarantee of deterrence, and it is not an automatic trigger for global war. It is a tool designed to ensure that even against advanced peer adversaries, the United States retains the ability to strike critical, well-defended targets at long range. That capability makes World War III more dangerous in several interconnected ways. It undercuts the assumption that distance and air defenses alone can protect key assets. It increases ambiguity about what an incoming bomber may be carrying. It pressures potential adversaries to build more complex, alert, and sometimes unstable defensive postures. If World War III ever breaks out, the B-21RAIDER's greatest impact may not be visible on radar screens or satellite imagery. Its impact lies in the calculations made in secure command rooms, where leaders know that somewhere beyond the range of their sensors, an